Today we're going to talk about the diencephalon and brainstem, and the goal of this video is to explain the structures and functions that are found in the diencephalon and brainstem. Okay, so within the cerebrum, there is a small, nondescript region called the diencephalon, and I've highlighted that region in a yellow circle here on the screen. It contains the thalamus, the hypothalamus, and the pineal gland. The thalamus has two bulb-shaped halves in the center of the brain, and I've got two arrows on the screen pointing to the thalamus, those two halves. It relays sensory impulses to the cerebral cortex for processing and sorting. The pineal gland is posterior to the thalamus, so that's on the back end. And we'll discuss it more when we talk about the endocrine system. Okay, the tiny portion of the brain inferior to the thalamus is called the hypothalamus. That means below thalamus. And it has several functions. It's responsible for autonomic processes such as body temperature, metabolism, and blood volume. It controls hormones that are released by the pituitary gland. And it's part of the limbic system, which regulates emotions and feelings of pleasure that you get from thirst or hunger or sex or pain. Okay, so now let's talk about the brainstem. The brainstem is located between the cerebrum and the spinal cord, and it's broken into three regions: the midbrain, pons, and medulla oblongata. So the midbrain is also known as the mesencephalon, and it relays information to the cerebrum. It also controls body movements and posture. The pons means bridge, and it's almost completely made up of white matter that links the cerebral cortex and the cerebellum, and it carries information from one side of the brain to the other. It's the central control of your breathing. The medulla oblongata is located just above the spinal cord. It transmits impulses between the spinal cord and the brain, and it controls blood pressure, heart rate, swallowing, and coughing. So to sum up, the diencephalon is surrounded by the cerebrum, and it contains three regions which relay sensory impulses, regulate the secretion of hormones, and controls emotions like pleasure and pain. The brainstem also has three regions which relay information to the cerebrum and control autonomic processes like breathing and heart rate.